Hello once again, it's Peter from Pulse of Perfumery in Knutsford in the UK, in Cheshire. I'm going to introduce you to a very special friend and an absolute wonderful person in terms of knowledge of the industry from a company called the Perfume Society. Now, normally I talk about fragrances, but today, no, I believe it's to an expert, another expert, because today is Sunday. It's actually Sunday. We're open, but we're open for an event that we are hosting for the Perfume Society. And I'm sure Jo will tell you about all the business and company and everything else, how to sign up and subscribe. But without further ado, let me introduce you to Jo. This is Jo Fairley. So,
hello.
Please.
Well, thank you for having us back.
It's a real pleasure.
This is our second How to Improve Your Sense of Smell workshop.
Second what?
Pulse of Perfumery.
Thank you.
And I think that these workshops are really at the very heart of what we do with.
Can you explain about the workshops, Jo?
So, I think my real mission in life is to get people using their sense of smell as it should be used. It's Helen Keller called it the fallen angel of our senses, because we've allowed it to kind of dwindle. We're so sight dominant and actually sound dominant too, and we no longer rely on it as we used to in times of old for, you know, telling us that a predator was approaching from behind or finding that berry in the hedgerow. And therefore, smell, we use it for lovely perfumes. We can tell if we've left the gas on, but it's nothing like the potential that it has. And I've been lucky enough through my journalism to interview some of the world's top noses, and I have picked up tips for how it's actually a workshop based around a technique which helps people to improve their sense of smell incredibly effectively.
So what's today? What's going to happen
today? About a dozen of our VIP subscribers and some of your customers who've just signed up are coming along, and this free workshop is part of their package for belonging to the Perfume Society.
Perfect.
And so we do these workshops all around the UK, many in London, but also Troon in Scotland, Edinburgh, Birmingham, etc.
And Knutsford.
And Knutsford. And they are life transforming, I think. We teach this technique, which I'm not going to give away, but it's basically, they have a bit of homework to do every day, and it's extraordinary how the sense of smell becomes more acute, but also what happened to me when I first did this technique is the distance from which I could smell things got longer and longer and longer. And my record is coming out of a hotel in Copenhagen, just outside Copenhagen, and being able to smell curry. And it turned out that curry was a mile away.
Wow.
And it made me realise, gosh, that's what our noses used to be able to do. And of course, when you develop your nose like this, you get a lot more pleasure out of perfume. Really unexpectedly, you get more pleasure out of food because of the amazing connection between taste and smell.
Indeed.
And the fun bit is that you use fragrance. You use some of these lovely fragrances in pop for the exercise. So that's why we host them in places like that.
Fantastic. And we were talking earlier on when you arrived about if I was stopped by a customer, a gentleman, when it was so.
We love that.
It was the funniest thing ever. I literally went to pick up some supplies from a store, and I was wearing a fragrance, and this gentleman who was probably in his 80s was saying, "Excuse me, young man, what are you wearing?" And he actually came over to the perfumery, a lovely gentleman, and then Jo arrived, and we were talking about le sillage. And explain.
The trail.
Yeah, the trail.
So sillage is basically the trail. It's the kind of way your fragrance diffuses around you, but also when you walk somewhere, the smell that you trail behind you. And I mean, I often stop people in the street and ask them, having smelled their sillage, and ask them what they're wearing. It's a good way.
And I think, and for those that are looking out there, when you are stopped and asked what you're wearing, I mean, how do you feel? I feel good.
You feel good.
It is so good. It's so good when somebody says that, isn't it? I mean,
it is. It's amazing. Really interestingly, little side tip. every time you get in a cab, start talking to taxi drivers about perfume, because they get everything in the back of their cab.
Amazing.
And they often ask women, what are you wearing? And they become quite expert. And they've got real opinions about perfume. It's so fun.
So, okay, so today, can we just see...
So basically, let me tell you a little bit about what the Perfume Society is. So we've been going for 2 years, just for 2 years. We're incredibly established. We offer these workshops around the country. We offer these discovery boxes to people. So you get a joining box when you sign up for your £25 a year. And that contains examples of all the key fragrance families. And every box that we produce has smelling notes, so that the boxes contain postcards, they contain a notebook, they contain smelling strips for testing, and they also contain samples of fragrance for you to kind of really learn to educate your nose. Fantastic. So we've got a lovely Miller Harris here. We've got Joy from Jean Patou, which of course is
30s. Wow.
We've got L'Air du Temps, Chloe, etc. So it's a real selection to kind of make you understand what the different fragrance families are, and then on an ongoing basis you can buy different boxes, etc. We also coordinate events all over the country, not just our own events, but we have a listing of what's going on if you're really into perfume around the country. So you don't have to be in London, you don't have to be in Knutsford, you can be basically anywhere.
And how do people subscribe? How do they...
So basically they go online at perfumesociety.org.
Perfumesociety.org.
And actually one of the real benefits is that we produce an amazing online magazine called The Scented Letter, which has won
I get it.
awards.
It's fabulous. It really is.
And it's all about perfume, and it's all about smell.
Fabulous.
And it's incredibly popular. We also now sell a few printed copies of it, which by popular demand.
Yes.
But it is amazing. It's the only perfume magazine in the world.
You've got to do it,
it's
guys.
Incredible.
Come on, let's sign up.
And I have lots of award-winning writers, and the writing is really high quality, and it's a fantastic way just to keep your finger on the pulse of everything that's coming out.
On the pulse. Pulse of Perfumery.
Through our latest launches section, which is very popular. So that just tells you everything that's coming out. And as with the fragrances that we list on Perfume Society website, which is not, we don't sell other people's fragrances, we sell boxes, discovery boxes, we don't sell actual full sizes, but we do colour code everything, so that if you learn after a little while that actually you're drawn to fragrances that are in that family of yellows, you can see when you look at latest launches in the Scented Letter which fragrances you might like to seek out, because you're more likely to like those than others.
Fantastic. And
we also online have this incredible fragrance recommendation tool. So it's like a fragrance editor, we call him Fred. And you key in something you like to wear, and Fred will recommend 6 other fragrances that you're much more likely to like from all the thousands. I mean, not everybody, Peter, is lucky enough to walk into a shop like yours where they get really expert hand holding, and you can really steer people, understanding what they wear already, in the direction of what they might like.
Absolutely.
And so Fred, if you're just sitting at home, is a great way to find recommendations for 6 new fragrances to try.
And you can access this through
perfumesociety.org.
Through the perfumesociety.org, okay? So I'm sure, I hope you've made a note of that.
And we have a kind of blog section which basically is a roundup of absolutely everything that's happening in the perfume world. And our Instagram has 14,000 followers. What can I say?
Let's make it 24,000 followers. Come on. Look, this is a great day for us at Pulse of Perfumery. We are so delighted to have Jo here. We have 2 sessions today. And I think, as you can see, you probably might have seen all the sort of seating around. It's 22:11 on Sunday morning. At 11:30, this shop will be full of perfumistas and people that are wanting to develop their sense of smell through the Perfume Society in this little shop in Knutsford, and we can't wait. So, and we have another session this afternoon. So if you're interested, you've got the details. I'd like to thank Jo massively for coming up from London to spend time here And as I say, we're really looking forward to the start of today.
Thank you. And I think what you've realised with the shop and what we've realised at the Perfume Society is that what's happening in perfume is a little like what happened in food 20 years ago. People are getting really interested in it. They're really understanding it can be so much more. It's not just what you put on in the morning with your knickers. You know, there's stories and there's ingredients
Absolutely.
and there's artisan producers and so it's all about what's happening in perfume, similar to what happened in food 20
I could talk all day long. Listen, I'm with Jo all day. Do review, do sign up, do look at everything that we've been speaking with you about. And thank you, Jo, very much indeed.
Thanks for having us.
Look forward to seeing you.